Thank you for the introduction. My fellow Singaporeans, first and foremost, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking your precious time to come down and listen to us and our message. And my message to you today is, change is coming to Singapore. Believe it. Now let me talk about the last few days. You would have seen on TV, on the news, newspapers, messages emanating out of PAP. You can't blame me. I look at these messages, I can't help but think, so many problems, but PAP is acting like nothing, like everything is okay. They keep talking about everything else. I hear dark clouds. I'm referring to today's article. Some minister was saying about dark clouds, tsunami in Japan. I don't know what that has to do with us. SARS, which happened many years ago. 4G leadership. Another minister went about on and on about only one question being asked about Mas Selamat. And someone else saying, out of 3 million people, Singaporeans, only 82 are talented. The rest of us are duds. You and I. Blah, blah, blah. But why are we here? We are here to talk about the issues that Singaporeans are really concerned about. Namely the high cost of living, influx of foreigners, stagnant wages over the last decade, runaway HDB prices, and most important, at least for me, long-term impact to Singapore about having among the most lowest fertility rate in the world. Did you ever think about that? That is going to be a big issue in years to come. This really shows the disconnect between the elite and expensive PAP team. The disconnect between them and us, ordinary Singaporeans. For myself, I live in a 3-room HDB flat with my parents, and let me assure you, I am a very, very, very ordinary person. The only thing different about me is that I am contesting in Choa Chu Kang GRC with my fellow teammates Tony Tan, Hazel Pua, Nolela and Sebastian Teo. Sebastian is here, NSP President. And I am very, very proud of that. I am one of you, every bit aware about what Singaporeans are feeling inside and going through on a daily basis. Now, I also have another big problem. First, the messages from PAP. Now, they keep saying they have a proven track record. Proven track record, like a record. They keep saying proven track record. So, I want to ask, what proven track record are they talking about?
What's your proven track record?
Pay rise! GST! 50 years of suffering.
Compared to 40 years ago, are they talking about that proven track record? Yes, I agree. We have definitely advanced as a nation. Yes, we got to cut them some slack. I'll give them some face. Yes. 40 years ago, now, yes. Proven track record. But the last 5 to 10 years, what do you say? Proven track record?
Highest pay.
Definitely no, huh? And I have statistics to back me up. Our living standards has actually worsened. Now let me explain why. Let me go through and remind everyone about the PAP 2006 manifesto and what they promised in the last elections. Let me remind you. Let me scrutinize the 2006 PAP election manifesto. The question to ask ourselves, has PAP delivered on its 2006 promise? Okay, let's see promise number 1. Their brochure 2006, they said, a better life for all. Contrary to PAP's proud proclamation that Singapore has enjoyed record high growth in 2010, the lives of ordinary Singaporean is not getting better. The latest release from the Ministry of Manpower, the real average monthly earnings of Singaporeans continue to decline in 2010. The average monthly nominal earnings per employee, Singapore dollars, has continued to fall from $4,300 to $3,754. These findings commensurate with that of an international study done by UBS, which showed that the wages of the average Singaporean has declined, and Singaporeans now have a domestic purchasing power lower than that of Malaysians. Can you believe that? Malaysians' purchasing power is better than us now, and that's a fact. Another study from UBS released in August 2010, gross wage index of Singapore has declined from 31.3 in 2009 to 30 2010. And you compare that with Tokyo, 77.1, Seoul, 37.4, Hong Kong, 34.9. Even Moscow is higher than us. The same study also found that employees in Copenhagen, Zurich, Geneva and New York have the highest gross earnings. Median wages of Singaporeans have remained stagnant, $2,500 monthly the last few years. And caused partly by the relentless influx of cheap foreign labor. Not foreign talent, huh? Cheap labor, that's the word. That is the right word. As a result of PAP's ultra-liberal immigration and pro-foreigner policies. Wall Street Journal editorial review: the continuous inflow of immigrants into Singapore has depressed the wages of Singapore workers, increased the cost of living, and led to an overall decline in the standard of living. Let me remind you, when you contrast that with PAP ministers, ours has gone down or stayed. PAP ministers got a 20 to 30% hike in salaries and bonuses last year. Because it was back to GDP growth. Our GDP was high. And they were focused on GDP. That's the problem. They are not focused on our wages. They are not focused on our social issues. They are focused on GDP. At the end of the year, they get a reward, 20 to 30%. How many of you here has had a 20 to 30% wage increase in the last 5 years?
Self-increase
This data that I just told you, you hardly see it on mainstream media.
Of course!
They continue to highlight Singapore's low unemployment, which is again not reflective, because MOM lumps up the two together, citizens and PR, and they say residents, so as to get a higher figure. This is the truth, my friends. So read between the lines. Don't just read blindly. Of course, our talented team, PAP team, thanks to them we have not one but 2 casinos now, and the attendant gambling and vice problems, orchard floods, more and more ERP gantries and raises in ERP, crowded trains, packed buses, so on and so forth. Promise number 2, 2006 manifesto, they said, create opportunities for Singaporeans. Again, I am going to quote statistics, facts, from nowhere else but Patir. This is a magazine printed by PAP itself, so nobody can dispute these facts, 2007, 6 out of 10 of 235 jobs went to foreigners. 2008, the ratio was up to 7 out of 10 from a total 221,600 jobs. Highly educated Singaporeans, even you are not spared. Increasingly, more and more of you are finding yourself out of work. 13.1% in 1998. In 2003, 5 years, in just 5 years, it jumped up to almost 19%.